It's Tuesday, December 14th. Coming up live on The View. They're the hottest topics in the headlines. From whether both Madoff parents won't be attending their son's funeral after his tragic suicide, to how you can stop pigging out just by using your imagination, and how Sherry spent the day with 75,000 American heroes. Plus, Sean Diddy Combs is telling the co-hosts his biggest problem with relationships in the past and how he's ready to find love now. Then, he's hitting the stage with his new group, Diddy Dirty Money, to perform their brand new hit. And the Red, White, and View is finding out how former Real World stars Rachel Campos-Duffy and husband Congressman Sean Duffy went from a match made on reality TV to the hottest new power couple in D.C. All that, hot topics, and more, coming up live on The View.
To The View. Welcome to The View. Now, Sherry, you were telling us about the overwhelming experience you had over the weekend. Please tell everybody where you were.
Well, I did something with the WWE. We went to Fort Hood in Texas. It is the largest military base in the world. They train people to deploy them, and it's over 75,000 military troops over at Fort Hood. I was there with Diddy, who's here later, who's here on the show. And it was so overwhelming and emotional because, you know, you always hear, you see 8 or 10 soldiers on the plane and you clap for them and you say, thank you for keeping us safe. But to put a face to 75,000 men and women, and a lot of them were 18, 19, 20, they were kids. That's them in the audience. It really brought it home to me that these young kids who just graduated high school are going out and fighting for my freedom and my son's freedom. Thank you. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. It was so wonderful.
What a gift, you know? It's great that you could do that for them.
So sweet
You
and
were
so
Santa.
nice. I was Santa Claus, so I had to throw out gifts, and I swear it was so windy out there, I thought my hair was just gonna blow out with the gifts. My dress kept blowing
You
up.
were having so much trouble with your hair.
It was but Barbara, it was a dress, everything was just blowing. But we'll have more about
well,
when...
You know, that's why you have a slightly longer dress on, babe.
That was long. It was just the wind was so strong, Whoopi. That was my little
That's not a long dress, Chef. I'm just saying that's you know.
It went to my knees. Y'all know me. But we took cameras down there, and so we'll have more stuff about it on Monday about Fort Hood.
Good job, Sherry.
Now, reportedly, Ponzi schemer Bernie Madoff announced he will not be attending the funeral of his son Mark, who committed suicide over the weekend. He most likely wouldn't have been allowed to go anyway, but should he have tried? Do you think he said any of this? What do you think? Anybody?
I think there would have been pandemonium at the funeral, that all the attention would have been on Bernie, and that he's better off staying home. No one likes him. Everyone hates him. His other son hates him. His wife hates him. What are you going for? No reason to go. Stay in the jail.
Well, it is his child. I mean, his child. His child. No, his child just committed. I mean, let's not forget, regardless of whether you like Bernie or not, that's his baby, his oldest, his firstborn, that committed suicide. But
you can't take that away from him.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, he would not legally have been allowed to. Secondly, this was the child who turned him in. They have not talked for 2 years. It would not surprise me if the funeral has already taken place, because I'm sure it's a private funeral. And I don't think that Mrs. Madoff, who also has not, the children have not talked to her. But, you know, why make this more of a terrible scene than it already is?
I read that she's trying to make amends. She's delivering food to the indigent and shut-ins in Palm Springs Beach or someplace. So she's trying to redo.
I'm sure she is heartbroken. The thing that I cannot get out of my mind with this, and I asked Elizabeth about it a minute ago, to be in such despair that you commit suicide is tragic enough. But to do it with a 2-year-old, and a 2-year-old can crawl out of a crib. Sure. It's not as if, you know, it's a 3-month-old baby. And to take the chance that this child could have this vision for the rest of his
you know what,
life.
Barbara,
It's just
that-
so,
that shows-
so
email,
desperate.
he also, didn't he email the wife in the
Yes.
4 o'clock in the morning?
Imagine
So,
getting that email.
The wife is in Disney World with the other child. He emails her at 4 o'clock in the morning and his father-in-law to come and take the child.
That's right.
They're sleeping. That child could have gotten up.
That's what I just said.
But
yeah,
it just,
of
but it
course.
just
It's
shows
outrageous,
you,
really,
it
when
shows
you
you
think of it.
I mean, it
despair,
shows you
the
the despair
despair.
he was in, because a
So,
lot of times
yes.
when people are in that
You
space,
know.
they don't think about
Right.
other people,
and this-
other
the whole
stuff.
thing
This is a man who had to forfeit
tragic.
his name in terms of what his, they changed their names. His wife changed the name. He obviously was looking at a life of not possibly being employed.
Not this wife. She
It
didn't
just-
change the name.
But
This was the first
I just
one.
think his identity obviously seemed to be totally chained, if not withdrawn, and the despair took over.
It's sad.
It's sad,
Wow.
and thank goodness that baby is okay.
You know, it's a Greek
thank
tragedy.
goodness.
It is a Greek, it's a huge
tragedy.
Greek tragedy.
Do you get, and I don't, can I ask a question really quickly? If you, because I know he was facing unemployment and there was no money coming in for the family, insurance, if you take your life, do you get
I don't think you do.
No, but he was living in a very couple $1 million, $4 million
But
apartment.
That's an apartment he had from the heyday. Listen, remember, people are still coming after him to get some restitution.
Civil trial.
Civil trial.
You know, he's got to pay a lawyer to deal with that. He's got, he's got to feed the kids. I'm sure he just saw nothing in his future and thought, you all will be better, which happens with a lot of people. When they take their own lives,
The
they think
innocent
you will be,
victims- The innocent victims are the wife and the children.
yeah,
and,
So,
anyway.
in any case, you know what? I'm going to take us in a different direction. Totally different direction. Did anybody watch the Jets game the other day?
Oh, yeah.
Did you see the assistant coach who put his leg out and tripped the player?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
And this guy, okay, that's...
It's a little. He's been suspended for the rest of the season,
Yeah,
and he apologized to the player. He tripped and said his conduct was inexcusable, unsportsmanlike. So does he get any points for apologizing right away?
No, absolutely not.
Making excuses?
No, he should not. Wait, okay, who else was going to apologize for him sticking his leg out? This guy who's first year coming in and trying to make a name for himself on the field. I think that this athlete that he potentially injured and could have taken his whole career down.
He could have taken his whole career down.
To say, I mean, of course it's reprehensible, and I think out of
think they
respect
should
for the
fire
league,
him?
he should be fired. I think the fine is appropriate. It was $25,000. It's going to obviously hurt him. He probably makes anywhere between $125 and $150, or $75 and $150. He should be fired, because if players right now face misconduct charges upwards of hundreds of thousands of dollars to keep people safe on the field, that is an act that is inexcusable. Obviously, he said he's sorry.
Even though
You're forgiven, but I'm not going to give you
even though
credit
you
for
said
saying
he's
it.
sorry and he didn't get hurt, if he did, his career would have been... It's one thing for a player to be out in the field and you know that somebody's going to tackle you and you could fall and get hurt. It's one thing when you're off the field and you're walking, you don't expect that at all.
What happened to all the Christian forgiveness?
You know what? We're not talking
said he
about...
forgive him. He said he's sorry. That's
this
fine.
is for this player. Even if but there's still consequences, Joy, to actions. Even if you get forgiven, the consequences don't stop because you do something.
He didn't do anything to me.
So it has
I'm not
nothing
the
to
one
do
who's
with
gotta forgive him.
forgiveness. Yeah, the player has to forgive him, but it's still this guy. You could have injured him, and he would have never played again.
That is an intentional act of harm. You have to understand that those players are out there within the rules of the game. This is a person in position of power, a coach, a strength coach. To go out and do that, you want to take a knee to somebody on field, get a helmet, get some shoulder pads,
He was
try
being a
out.
bonehead. He was being a
Why
bonehead,
did he do it?
and he did it.
Besides from being a bonehead, why?
He wanted to get involved in the game. You
And
know
it
what?
is
He obviously
so
didn't.
emotions.
Just get involved with the game? Did he want to make sure which team won?
Of course, he wanted to make
And
sure the
Barbara,
Jets
when you're
won.
on
He
that
should be
field,
sorry.
the
He should
emotions
not
are
be-
running so
He should
high.
not be in that position to begin with.
Absolutely not. He abused his position and should be gone.
I don't think
As
he
far
should
as
be
I'm
fired.
concerned. I know. And he should be. It shouldn't happen again. It could happen all the time if they don't do
Well,
something about it
yes,
now.
I think he
I
knows
don't
now.
think he'll be tripping
I think he
about it.
gets it now. I
As
think,
he's getting that unemployment check.
It's
I
like
don't
little
think-
kids when they stick their finger in a socket after you tell them, don't do that, and they go, and just the second before it zaps them and you see on their face, oh, and then and the hair goes up. It's terrible. But Sherry, you have something to talk about that's equally important, don't you?
Absolutely. Kindle lets you download books, newspapers, magazines, and blogs. The Kindle store offers a wide selection, and members of our studio audience are getting $100 gift certificate to use for Kindle books.
We will be right back with more Hot Topics. some really sad news to report today. Richard Holbrooke, longtime U.S. diplomat and President Obama's chief envoy to Pakistan and Afghanistan, passed away yesterday of complications from surgery to repair a torn aorta. He was 69. Now, I adored this guy. I was lucky enough. I always, somehow in my life, have been able to meet really interesting folks, and he was one of the most interesting. And part of the reason I've always wanted to represent other countries, you know, be our representative to other countries, because I thought he was just really smart, and I really thought he was the cat's pajamas, he and his wife. Yeah. And Barbara, you also know.
Well, I've known Dick Holbrooke for 40 years. Mm-hmm. I was supposed to have lunch today with his wife, Kadi Martin, who was used to be with ABC News and is a wonderful author. So I first want to say how heartbroken I am for her and for Dick's 2 sons and 2 stepchildren, whose father, by the way, was Peter Jennings. But you mentioned that he was the special representative to Afghanistan and Pakistan, and I saw him just last week, and he looked so tired, and he had put on weight, and you don't know how much stress. We talk about heroes, and we have a tendency, this is why I particularly want to talk about Dick. We have a tendency sometimes to put down people in the diplomatic service and people who are serving the government. This is a man who could have made money in private banking, who was responsible for the Dayton Accords, remember the Bosnia War? He spent his whole life practically in diplomatic service. And his last words, the family said, were, "You've got to stop this war in Afghanistan." And he was putting final touches on the report about Afghanistan. And I just want now, not just for Dick, but for all of us, all of the professional diplomats who really do risk their lives in the kind of stress and strain to be somewhat appreciated. It's not that much for the family, and to Kadi, I don't even know what to say, but I want him to have particular credit.
He was a brilliant man. Now, Barbara Walters, you know, no matter what topic we are talking about, you seem to be one of the most level-headed, even-tempered members of this panel.
Really?
However, not too long ago, a hot topic about Dancing with the Stars left you weak in the knees. Let's take a look, Barbara. You said...
I fell in love. I fell in love with a former football player named Kurt Warner.
Oh, yeah.
This man could be a movie star. Look at him. He practiced with his 2 little girls how to be delicate, he said. Look how charming he is. And he did a sort of Gene Kelly thing with an umbrella. What is
so? Well, I don't know, Barbara. Let's find out. What is it all about? What is it all about, baby? What is it?
How did you keep this from me?
Very hard.
It was not easy.
Very, very hard.
But,
because you know everything.
I don't need everybody else here. It's
just me and you, right? Just me and you. We can do this together.
I should point out Kurt's wife is here, too.
Hi, Brenda.
How you kept this a secret?
It's so hard, Barbara, because you know everything. You got an eye in the back of your head. But Kurt, thank you for coming. You got to feel so comfortable here because you're used to being around so many women. There's a lot of females in your household, huh?
There is. There's my beautiful wife, and then obviously I have 4 daughters. So I'm used to having to try to balance that whole thing out. So it's not always easy. Not always easy, but I think you guys will probably be even easier than my 4 daughters. So.
Don't speak too soon.
What did you think of that guy tripping, that coach tripping the football player?
Oh, you know what? Obviously, like everybody else, I was taken back by it. I mean, unbelievable. It's like football 101. You don't ever do anything like that.
Do emotions just run very high? Was that what it was?
I think so. I mean, I think sometimes you just react. And, you know, there was no intention, I'm sure, to hurt anyone. but sometimes you just react in the spur of the moment. I mean, we see people fighting. We saw a couple players fight a couple weeks ago. I mean, all that stuff takes place, but I think that's one of those things that you go, we're never going to see something like that. And it happens.
It was a bonehead move.
We've known each other a long time, and Brenda is one of my good friends here.
He didn't give you flowers.
Tim, no. But I want to know when you found out that Barbara had a big old crush on you.
You know, it was funny because I was actually, you know, it was the night after the show, so I hadn't watched television or anything, but all of a sudden all these text messages and all these emails, people were tweeting me, they're like, Barbara Walters has a crush on you. And I'm thinking, you know, I'd done a lot of things in my career, but I thought, I finally made it. When that happened, you know that you finally made it.
Better than a Super Bowl ring, right?
It's pretty impressive.
We know your prowess on the field, but we really got to see you do your thing on Dance with the Stars. Tell us how that experience was.
Yeah.
You know, it was so much fun because, like you said, on the field, you always have a helmet on. You're a competitor. You don't really show emotion, so a lot of people don't really get to see who you are. And so that's what was so much fun about the show is that you get to go out there and kind of show who you are at home, you know, who you are to your friends. You get to have fun, you get to smile, you get to entertain. And that was the best part of the show. I mean, it was a whole bunch of work. You know, it was a lot of that stuff. But
and you had Barbara weak in the knees.
But it was a lot of fun, and you were able to reach a different audience. And I think that was the neat thing about it.
Well, you know what? You're #1 in our book.
Well,
just because you're not only a great guy, but a great guy. You know, we're gonna come right back with Sean Diddy Combs.
I wanna do. Wanna be ballers, shot callers, brawlers. We'll be dipping in the bins with the spoilers. On the low from his Jake and the Taurus.
The man and mogul behind one of the biggest hip-hop songs ever, It's All About the Benjamins, is back with a new group. You want to finish?
No, I just like the way you said it. Made me happy.
I thought I made a mistake. Well, anyway, he has a new group, when you hear this, called Diddy Dirty Money. And I'll laugh at that. And a new, very personal CD, forgive my voice, called Last Train to Paris. Please welcome back Sean Diddy Combs. Show this album, Last Train to Paris. What do I call you? You've gone by...
You can call me Sean. You can call me Sean.
Oh, I thought I was told to call you Diddy.
No, wait, let me read your names. Okay. Puff Daddy, Puffy, Puff, Sean, John, P. Diddy, and now Diddy again.
No, Sean.
Sean.
Oh, no,
he's Diddy now.
But he said Barbara could call him Sean.
What are you?
I'm all of the above. You know, I come from a neighborhood where they give you a lot of nicknames. And so it could be confusing to people, but it's really not because I answer to all of the above. But my mother...
So I'll call you Sean.
Yes, my mother named me Sean, and out of respect for you ladies, I would like you to call me Sean.
That's very sweet of you. Okay. So, Sean, you have a new group with a title that's not Sean, it's Diddy Dirty Money.
Yes.
And you say that the music on this album is different than anything you've ever done.
Yes.
It's not hip-hop? It's not...
Sonically, it's a fusion. It's a fusion of my travels from going from Harlem to Paris to dancing in the clubs of Ibiza, with my insomnia being in after-hour clubs, having my heart broken and hearing the different sounds on the planes, trains, and automobiles. And it's just that journey of life of just hearing those different sounds of James Brown to Coltrane to Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. And,
That's
you know,
a big order.
Yeah, you know, it's really music has influenced my life. I love music. I do it because I love it. I don't do it for any other reasons. And this is a very personal album to me because it's talking about the thing in my life that I haven't been successful at, which is love.
I want to talk to you about that because you have, that we know about, 3 women, who you obviously were close to because you
Yes.
have 6 children.
Yes,
That's
yes.
a lot of kids.
Yes.
And yet,
I'm blessed.
you are the twins, I hear, are old enough to have
Yes.
said, Daddy, why didn't you marry Mommy?
Yes.
So it was not enough with, I don't know how to put it.
I think that was a quote in my record, so you know,
it was not enough for you to want to get more seriously involved with.
Yeah. One of the things I want to say is what you're repeating.
What's your trouble is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah. And I'm trying to get to the answer.
Okay.
What you're quoting exactly is a quote in my song, which I'm going to perform later, is, and I talk about things, what if my twins asked me why I didn't marry my moms? What if my twins asked me why I didn't marry their moms?
Yeah.
So I'm talking about things that, you know, I'm going to have to deal with as a man. And the reason of it, why I'm not married yet, I don't have the exact reason. Some things in life, you don't have the exact reason why you're not. I know that I haven't been ready. I know there's other reasons in my life. My father was killed when I was 3 years old, and my mother was a very strong woman where she just said, well, I just love your father, and I'm not going to have no other man around, and we just going to just, you know, nobody's going to come around, and that's the way it's going to be. But then on the flip side, I never got a chance to see the way a family lives. But I'm not making any excuse, you know? But I'm just giving you my background. Everybody has a different background. And so then with my history and my story with the women that I've had children with, I've known them I met them all the same year. You know, it's like a movie. I met them all around the same year, and we became friends. And then different times in my life, as my heart got broken by one, I cried on the shoulder of another. My heart got broken by another. I cried on the shoulder of another. I went back to another. Man, I mean...
Sounds like that show Big Love. You ever watch that show?
No, because it wasn't at the same time. Right. And the thing about life is crazy. Life isn't something that you can predict. All you could do is do your best and try to evolve and try to learn. And I think that, one thing I want to say, I think that every woman that I was with, that I had a child with, they did deserve for me to marry them. But there's things that were going on in my life.
It's
and
you,
things
it's
going,
not
it's
them.
on,
Is that what you're saying?
It's not. I'm not gonna say it's all the way me, but no. But I will take responsibility as a man.
You say love is like kryptonite.
Children? It's 6 children by 3 women. How much time?
I get to spend a lot of time with my children. Everybody has a different life. You know, me and your life is totally different. You know, and it's just that's the way it is. My life works for me. It works for my family. All my kids are straight A students. They don't have no cavities. You know what I'm saying? They go to the orthodontist regularly and they pray every night. So you could have a different situation that's different. Yes. So I'm very proud about the upbringing, and God has blessed me with 3 of the most beautiful women to raise my kids. And and one day, you know, if it's right, I'll get married. But I think it's more about me being honest with myself and me loving my children and me being there for my children and the mother of my children.
Okay.
I want to turn it around a little bit because we were at Fort Hood where you entertained over 75,000 military folks. Yes. They loved you. You were on the ring. But, you know, I know how I felt being there with the military. How did you feel when you were there with Dirty Money, you were singing and just entertaining them?
I would say it changed my life. One of the things, I put out a blog that night that I apologized to the military, because I think that there's a lot of things in life we take for granted, like even our 10 fingers, 10 toes, or waking up in the morning and just being alive. And when I was there around the military, they're so respectful, so humble, and they're working so hard for our freedom. And then when they come back home, we don't treat them right, you know?
So you apologize for the country.
Yeah, so I apologize for the country and also myself. I started with myself that, you know, like, am I hiring enough servicemen or women? Am I doing enough? Am I doing enough shows? Am I doing enough to really help support them? It's incredible to go and see how respectful they are, how they're caring about us. They're not even caring about themselves. Right. They're caring about us, and they deserve so much. So shout out to all of the servicemen and women out there.
You know, just listening to you, you're very honest, and it's a pleasure to have you with us, and we look forward now to your performing, because when we come back, Diddy Dirty Money is performing a hit from their new CD, Last Train to Paris. Stay with us.
branded new sound. So here to perform Coming Home from the new CD, Last Train to Paris, is Diddy, Dirty Money.
I'm coming home, I'm coming home. Tell the world I'm coming home. Let the rain wash away all the pain of yesterday. I know my kingdom awaits, and they're forgiving my mistakes. I'm coming home, I'm coming home. Tell the world I'm coming, yeah.
I'm back where I belong. I never felt so strong, yeah. I'm feeling like there's nothing that I can't try. And if you with me, put your hands high. Put them up. You ever been lost in life before? This one's for you. Check it out. The dreams are filled with rocking with the best. Listen to me. I hear the tears of a clown. I hate that song. I always feel like they talking to me when it comes on. Another day, another dawn. Another Keisha, nice to meet you, get the math, I'm gone. What am I supposed to do when the club lights come on? It's easy to be puffed, but it's harder to be shown. What if my twins ask me why I ain't married their moms? Damn, how do I respond? What if my son stares with a face like my own and says he wants to be like me when he's grown? Damn, but I ain't finished growing. Another night, the inevitable prolongs. Another day, another dawn. Just tell Keisha and Teresa I'll be better in the morning. Another life that I carry on. I need to get back to the place I belong. Come on. I'm coming home. Come on, would you put your hands in the air, wave from side to side. If you're at home on that couch, come on, I see you. Let's go. See, sometimes in life, you get lost. But it ain't never too late to find your way back home. Come on. Yes. Coming home. Listen. A house is not a home. I hate that song. Is a house really a home when your loved ones is gone? And people got the nerve to blame you for it. And you know you would have took the bullet if you saw it. But you felt it and still feel it. The money can't make up for it or conceal it. So you deal with it. And you keep balling, blossom, make a playboy. And you keep balling. Baby, we've been living in sin, cause we've been really in love, cause we've been living as friends. So you've been a guest in your own home. It's time to make your house your own. Pick up the phone, come on. I'm coming home. Thank you. Now listen to me. I know sometimes it gets hard in life, and you feel like you ain't never gonna make it the way you wanna make it. But trust me, I done been there before. We gonna make it home. Come on, let's go home. Listen to me. Come on. Ain't no stopping us now. I love that song. Whenever it comes on, it makes me feel strong. I thought I told you that we won't stop till we back cruising through Harlem. These old blocks made me, saved me, drove me crazy, drove me away, then embraced me, forgave me for all of my shortcomings.
Welcome to my home.
Yeah.
It's been a long
Listen,
time coming.
a lot of fights, a lot of scars, a lot of battles, a lot of cars, a lot of ups, a lot of downs, made it back, lost my dog. But here I stand, a better man. Thank you, Lord. Thank you all. Come on. Coming home. Woo. See, with God in your life, there's nothing that you can't achieve. I also like to tell the troops out there, you're going to be home soon, back with your families. Ain't no place like home. Trust me. There's no place like home. Tell the world, I'm coming home.
Our thanks to Diddy, Dirty Money. You can see Sean on the WWE special this Saturday night, entertaining the truth at Fort Hood. Album in the stores now, and members of our studio audience are going home with the CD, Last Train to Paris, which is in stores today. Go to iTunes to get it. Also, Diddy's new men's fragrance, I Am King, will be right back.
Rachel Campos-Duffy is no stranger to The View. She auditioned twice to be co-host, and she almost made it. But in the end, she decided to move to Wisconsin with her husband, Sean Duffy, whom she met when they were both on MTV's Real World. Remember that, Real World? Well, last November, Sean, a Republican, was elected congressman from Wisconsin. He and Rachel have gone from a match made on reality TV to a hot couple to watch in D.C. I'm so happy to welcome back Rachel Campos-Duffy and Congressman-elect Sean Duffy.
She's back.
Have a seat. So, you know, you're not on The View, so you go home, you get married, and you have 6 children.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
6 kids.
That's incredible. I have 3. I can't even imagine 6.
It's a full household. It's loud. It's crazy. But it's a lot of fun.
Wow.
Did you ever think, I wish I had a career and didn't have 6 children?
Well, you know, being a mom is the best job in the world.
You bet.
And
Wait, go get that baby.
Look at that baby.
Now, can we
She
bring the
is
baby
precious.
up?
Sure, I'll grab
She
her.
is so precious.
We want to show you the 8 months old.
8 months?
The last.
I'm Maria Victoria.
Maria.
Maria Victoria, yes.
Maria Victoria. Oh, she's so cute.
Is that cute?
She's a
See,
gorgeous
this is
baby.
why you
What
want
a
to keep
face.
having
Look at that
more.
face.
Yeah. Why wouldn't I want to have more?
And
She's
look
so
at that.
pretty.
Sean, you're from a big family. You're 10th of 11 children.
I am, yes. Yeah, I'm the 10th of 11,
What
but listen,
are the
I think
different
I...
ages of the children?
So there's 11, 9, 6, 4, 2, and 8
Maria
months.
Victoria, yes.
Wow.
But listen, we get the best of both worlds. We have 6 kids in northern Wisconsin living the dream.
Sure.
But also, Rachel's able to blog from up there. And now with Skype, she's doing some live feeds from northern Wisconsin and the pajama bottoms on the bottom and all dressed up on top.
That sounds like a dream.
Yeah, it's a nice.
You know,
Oh, she's
Rachel, you
precious.
tweeted that when you were at an event and John Boehner, Speaker of the House, was speaking, you were breastfeeding.
Yeah.
Did he tear up?
No. Listen, real men cry, Joy.
I know, over and over and over again.
He's a good, sensitive guy.
Exactly.
He's a great leader.
I thought it was so interesting. You are a nationally professional lumberjack, right? And it's your family.
What is
you
that?
come from a family of lumberjacks.
So lumberjack sports are the skills of the old-time lumberjack. That's chopping, sawing, log rolling, tree climbing.
Yeah,
and
sounds like
in
fun.
northern Wisconsin, kids, instead of taking log rolling or diving lessons or swimming lessons, they take log rolling lessons.
Do your kids do this?
They do.
We go to log rolling school, and Sean teaches
We
them.
teach them how to
saw log roll.
but that goes on to chopping
love to roll a log.
and speed pole climbing, and you'll be very good at it.
I
Come
think
to
I
Wisconsin,
might.
I'll teach you.
I think I might miss my calling right
Yes,
now.
you might
That'd
have,
be
yeah.
good.
But how are you going to manage this? I'm sorry, I have a thing in my ear that allows me to talk to the control room. Dusty, don't talk to me, it fell out of my ear. Okay. How are you going to manage this? You're in Wisconsin,
Right.
you're in Washington. What do you do?
Well, I'll say we love Wisconsin. We want to stay in Wisconsin, and so I'll go on the last flight possible to D.C., and on the first flight home, we'll incorporate the kids as
Every
much as
weekend?
possible. Every week, yes.
How far away?
It's it's about a 5-hour flight. We have a connection through Detroit, Minneapolis, or Chicago.
But we
What
just
it-
go ahead.
I just wonder, because I think, you see a lot of politicians come under great scrutiny. And I think, we've come and talked to so many wives of politicians and husbands of politicians that kind of have to bear the brunt of it in a very quiet way. How do you prepare to handle that,
Well,
too?
the first decision we made was to live in district, and I think the reason we did that is we want Sean to go to D.C. and change D.C. and not the other way around. And we love our life in northern Wisconsin. It's a quiet life. It's a nice life. You can have 6 kids. They can run around outside.
Is it
You don't worry
cold?
about it. It's very cold.
Absolutely.
But
It's cold here.
It's cold
it's
here.
cold here. I know.
here.
We were worried about it this morning. It was pretty cold. So it's cold, but it's a small town. I mean, 8,000 people
So
where we live.
everybody knows you and you know everybody.
Exactly. It's very safe, very, very nice.
But also, you see these politicians move to D.C. and they lose touch, and I think that's what the election in 06 and 08 and in 2010 were all about. Politicians losing touch. I love and Rachel loves Wisconsin. We want to stay there
a great
and bring
place.
those values to Washington and not the other way around.
have some great friends there. Well, how did you even get involved in politics and decide to put yourself right in it?
Well, yeah, and we did. This is about 18 months ago when the stimulus bill passed. I didn't think government spending would create jobs, so I was concerned about that. But I was also concerned about, at that point, about a $13 trillion debt. Now it's $14 trillion. And I thought I could have a positive impact on the direction the country was going. So Rachel and I sat down and we decided to get into the race.
Wow. Congratulations.
You've been called the next hot, well, I don't know who the last hot couple was.
Yeah, who are these people?
But they're calling you, the new hot couple.
Maybe the people who say we're a hot couple should come to Wisconsin and see me change about 12 poopy diapers a day, and they might change their mind about that description. But look, I'm excited about what Sean's about to do. I think he's a good man. That's why I moved to Wisconsin. I think he's an honest man. Yes, I'm from Arizona, so it was no small feat for me to decide to, move there. And clearly,
but also to give up what was a budding career.
It was a budding career.
Which you did have.
Yeah. I wouldn't change it for the world. As much as I love coming here and being with you guys.
We love having you, Rachel.
Thank you.
And to see
And
you
you say
with
he's
this
like
angel.
Todd Palin of it. I was reading that.
You know.
How is he like Todd?
Well, one thing I really admire about the Palins is that there's a real partnership in the child care. I could not raise 6 kids if I didn't have my best friend and a partner who, is willing to get in there and do all the hard work that there is.
In Washington.
Yes, but he's going to come home. It's not like he's going to stay there. See?
She's already.
She was so calm.
Yeah, she heard me say Daddy's going to be in Washington.
Yeah, she heard Barbara say he wasn't going to come home.
She's tired. See, she wants to go sleepy bride.
But we've incorporated the kids in our campaign, and in this phase we will as well. They've had a front row seat to the American political system, which has been great for them and great for us, and you just have to make it work, and we've done that.
Did you ever in a million years think that you would be a congressman?
No. And I did reality TV, and you don't do reality TV thinking you can run for Congress. I guarantee you that.
Not the path most take.
They come back
I
and
don't
haunt you.
recommend it.
Yeah. You talked about the values in Wisconsin that you're going to bring to Washington. Like what?
It's hard work, personal responsibility, fiscal responsibility. We realize what happens when you spend too much money and the impact that it has on your lives. And I think those values need to be brought to Washington, where you balance your budget and you're stretching your dollar to the furthest extent possible.
We're very happy to have you on. I'm so happy to see you again.
Thank you for having me back.
And every time you're on, there's another child.
Yes. Oh, boy.
I never said that. I never said that. Our thanks to Rachel and Sean Duffy. Pleasure to see you both. We'll be right back.
There were a lot of good documentaries out this year, but one of the best ones was the one I'm going to give away now. Joan Rivers, A Piece of Work, just came out on DVD, and members of our audience are going home with a copy. This is a phenomenal documentary.